Hey guys, and welcome back to Tennessee Grilling and Smoking. I'm Dustin, and today we're going to be making a 7.5 pound beef Angus tenderloin. Got the whole cut here. Locked up on a great deal at Kroger's. This thing was originally, what, $150? I saved $81, got it for $66, and I can't wait to dig into this. So guys, let's get to it. Alright guys, as you can see right here, this is a big old chunk of meat. This is the cut that they make the filet mignons from, and well, the reason it was so cheap is it's not being trimmed up neat. Now you can get this and you can give it to your butcher. He'll trim it up for you. He'll even cut it up for you, but he'll charge you for it. So instead of paying about $25 a pound, we ended up going with $8.99 a pound on this. So let's get to trimming. All right, what you're going to need a real thin blade knife, a little boning knife. This is one of those old rotted knives, and I like it real well. And we're going to go ahead and just make a little cut in here. Open this bag up. And we don't want to get all this juice around, so you got to be careful. Take your time. Carefully pull this thing out. Try not to make a big mess. Boy, look at that. Alright, so we got it out of the package. You can see it's got a lot of silver skin on it we're going to have to trim up, and it's basically broken down into 3 parts. This right here, you can use your hand, just kind of pull it apart from it. That's called cut that away, the chain. And we'll cut right down through that line and trim that up real good. And the other part we got is the tail. We'll probably cut that off about right there. Now it's important not to throw away any of this meat. This is good meat. This could be used for Philly cheesesteaks ground up into hamburgers. It can be used for a lot of things. So we're just going to keep that. We'll throw away all the silver skin. That's just useless. But we'll save all this, trim this up, and make something else with it. So let's get going. I'll go ahead and cut this right through here. Try to separate that out best you can. Just run our knife right along it. I'm left-handed, we're going to get this way for a second. Alright, so we're going to set that aside, and like I said, I'll trim that up later. Make something good out of that. Now we're going to go ahead, knock that tail about even, about right there. A lot of people, now when they cook this, I see they'll fold it inside like this, make it about the same thickness all the way through to help you cook, but I'll just say just go ahead and cut it right here. Set that back over to their side. Now we'll have a nice uniform piece of meat right here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start trimming it. Alright, so we're going to get right up and underneath that silver skin. And we're just going to slice her out a little bit. We're just going to pick this up and we're just going to slice along. We pull this out. And guys, all this is just taking your time. And we're going to just keep doing this until we get this thing trimmed up real nice. Try to get all the silver skin we can off of it. And I'll keep doing this, and when we get done, we'll come back and show you what we're going to do next. Alright, and I've also got a little chunk right here. We're going to go ahead and knock that off to make this all even, because like I said, we're going to use all this meat. But now you can get your hand, kind of pull it, and you can see where it's going to separate out. I'm just going to get my knife and I'm going to run it right along there and bring it on out. So there we go. That's good looking meat. Get this backside of here. I'm going to keep on trimming it up now, and when I get the top trimmed up real good, we're going to turn around on the bottom, and all this, just this grizzly fat, that's not bad fat, but a lot of it, some of it's real hard, and we're going to go ahead and just knock a lot of that off. I'll leave some fat on the bottom, but that's what we're going to go for, so bear with me. Okay guys, you can come in here and see. Now we had a bunch of fat all over. Now we just got a nice, good piece of tenderloin. And like I said, now a lot of people, what they can do here is they can go ahead and start cutting it up, make little 8-ounce fillets, but we're going to go ahead and do the whole entire thing. And just because that's the way I want to do it. So now that we got her trimmed up, what we're going to have to do is make a marinade for it. And we're going to let it sit overnight. And we'll come back tomorrow. We'll stick around here and we'll get her cooked. So, see you here in a second. Alright guys, now we got our steak, you see. We got our tenderloin. We got them in a bag. I've already got my good meat trimmed up. I'm going to go ahead and bag that up and freeze it here in a minute. But now we're going to go ahead and make the marinade. So what we're going to do is I'm going to add 2 cups of Worcestershire sauce. We're going to throw that in there. Nobody can say that. I won't even try. We're going to go. Don't have as much soy sauce as I would like. I'd like to do a 1/2 cup, but we'll use what we got. Throw the soy sauce in there. Now we're just going to add a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. We've got some dried rosemary leaves. Throw in a little onion powder. There we go. Now I've got a little bit of the SPG. Well, it called for pepper and garlic. This has got pepper and garlic, so I don't think it's going to hurt nothing at all. We're going to put a little load in there. We're going to top it off with some honey. Now we're going to mix it up real good. And we're going to pour it right down in that bag. Now if you don't have enough, if you make enough and it don't cover up the tenderloin in the bag, you can always fill the rest up with water. But it's got all this in there and it should be a really, really great marinade. We're going to try it out. Alright, we got them in here. We're just going to mix this up real good. Smells good. I'm going to bring the bag over here to us. Start pouring it into it. That almost got it all, but I'm just going to go ahead and fill up the rest with water, mix it in, and we're going to zip it up, stick it in the refrigerator. We'll come back tomorrow when we get to cooking. This should be nice and marinated. So I'll see you then. Okay, so while we're waiting on the steaks to get done marinating, we're going to go ahead and make the chimichurri sauce. We're going to put over top of it when we're done. Now, the chimichurri, it elevates any steak I've ever tried it on. So I've never really tried it on a fillet. I've never tried it on the beef tenderloin, but man, I know this is going to be great. So all this is I'm going to do about a cup of parsley. We're going to cut it off real and chop it up real fine. Then we're going to do the 4 cloves of garlic. We're going to go about 2 tablespoons of oregano, dried oregano, a 1/3 cup of the olive oil, extra virgin olive oil. We're going to do 2 tablespoons of the sherry cooking wine, a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, about 1/8 of a teaspoon of pepper, and we're going to add some chili peppers just for a little bit of heat. Okay, first thing you want to do, you want to go ahead and wash your parsley off and dry it off a little bit. Find out it's best if you just keep it in the little binder that it comes in, and we're just gonna shear it off there best we can. I'm just going to go through here. I'm going to make sure we get most of the stems out. We don't want the stems in there. We want a nice smooth sauce, so I'm just going to pick through here just a little bit. And that's the reason why I just kind of shear it off, because if you just go ahead and start chopping, you're going to get tons of these little stems in here. And some of them's okay, but try to get the big ones out. Alright, that looks pretty good. So next, now you just want to just roughly chop this up. That looks about right. Let's see what we got. Alright, next we're going to go ahead and add 4 cloves of garlic here. We'll just put her in the press. Put her in there. Nice. Alright. Knock it off right there. Okay. Got our parsley and we got our garlic in. Now we're going to hit it with about 2 tablespoons of dried oregano. Alright, next we're going to add in a 1/3 cup of extra virgin olive oil. There. Then I've got the sherry cooking wine. We're going to go for 2 tablespoons of it. Now I've just got the iodized sea salt. We're going to do a 1/2 teaspoon. We're going to do about 1/8 teaspoon of freshly ground pepper here. And guys, the red pepper is optional. I just like a little heat to a little bit, pretty much everything I do. But you can leave it off, but just kind of, if I have to guess, I'm going to do about a 1/2 tablespoon, or 1/2 teaspoon at least, of crushed red peppers. Now we're going to get this mixed up, and guys, it's going to be great. And this is going to make that tenderloin so good. Alright, well, that's done, and so I'm going to go ahead and stick it in the refrigerator. And next thing we're going to do here after a while, we're going to pull that steak out, get her going. Hang tight. Alright guys, after I tasted that right then, I love the taste. The taste is perfect, but I was not too crazy about the texture of it. I didn't chop that parsley up fine enough. So I went ahead and I took it out and I put it in the processor and chopped it up now. Now, I'm extremely happy with it. So maybe if your chopping skills are better than mine, go ahead and do it that way, but I'm going to stick with that food processor because I'm extremely happy with what that did. Alright guys, this meat's been in there for about 24 hours marinate. I believe she's ready to go. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and take it to the sink, drain all the juice out of it, lay the meat out, season it up real good, and just let it sit here. Let it get to room temperature. Also at the same time, you're letting those rubs do their thing and drawing all that moisture out. So we're going to go ahead and get this thing going. I'll be right back. Alright guys, there it is. Now you can tell just by the color of the meat now, you can tell that the marinade took very good. So I know this is going to be a great tasting steak. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and get it seasoned. We're going to let it set, get to room temperature, then we're going to get her on the smoke. Okay guys, the only 2 rubs I'm going to use on this, I'm going to hit it with the first coat of SPG from Sucklebusters. Then I'm going to go over top with a really heavy coat of the 1836 Sucklebusters beef rub. I'm going to go for just a great bark on this thing. I want a good crust on this thing. So this stuff right here has proven to me time and time again that it will give me just exactly what I'm looking for. So let's get started. Alright, we got the SPG here. We're just going to get it a coat. We're going to get it on all sides here. Not just front and back, I'm talking both sides. Don't worry if you think you're getting too much on there, you're not. Because this is a big old slab of beef and it will be able to take it just fine. Alright, we got it done with the SPG. Now we're going to go with a heavy coat of this 1836. Roll it. Be sure to get the ends there too. I love the smell of this rub. I think we've chosen the perfect cut of beef to show this off on. This thing is going to be packed with some flavor. There it is. Alright, it looks great. This is going to be an amazing cook. I know it's going to be. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to let it sit here an hour, maybe a little bit longer. Let it get up to room temperature. And at the same time, let this rub penetrate that meat just like it's supposed to do. Let it do its job. And I'll say here in about an hour, hour and a half, she'll be ready. I'll see you here in a minute. Alright guys, this set out about 2.5 hours. It's up to about room temperature. You can tell that the rub's doing its thing. You got the juices coming out of it. That's just telling me it's time to go ahead and get this thing on the grill, get it seared. Let's get her going. Alright guys, we got it on here. The grill was up to about almost 500 degrees. What we're going to do now is we're going to sear it real good on each side for 2 minutes, not just top and bottom, but each side. I've got my phone set. It's about time to go off, about time to flip it. So we're going to go ahead. Alright, so we're going to go ahead. Just going to do a complete flip on it. There we go. I'm going to set the timer back for 2 minutes. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and close the lid up. I've got my sear box open, so we're just going to give it all the heat we can get for right now. So 2 minutes on each side, and then flip her on. Make sure you get all 4 sides, make sure you get the sides. And while we're waiting on this one to get done, I want to check this out, guys. If you didn't see my last mail call, we've got a lot of new stickers. I really do appreciate all the stickers, guys, all the support you give my channel. Just keep them coming. I don't think there's any better background to have in the back of your video than all the channels that support you, all the people that you like and you watch. So I really appreciate it. I don't have very much room, so I'm really looking forward to making my next board. So let's get it filled up. All right, guys, it's been about 2 minutes now. Let's get her up on its side. Sometimes it's a little tricky to get her to stand, but we can do it. Just pull her up there. Ooh, that's hot. So we just got one more side to do, and after that, we're going to go ahead and put it up on a raised rack, and I've got a drip pan underneath. I'm going to put my butter and I've got some thyme, some rosemary, and some olive oil, and we're just going to baste that as it cooks the rest of the cook. I'm going to turn the temperature down to about 300, put a probe in there, and we're shooting for an internal temperature of about 125 degrees when we're going to pull it out. We're going to pull it out, let it rest, let it finish doing everything. We want to trap all those juices inside. We don't want to go ahead and cut into it as much as I want to, I'm sure, because that's already smelling great. But we're gonna let those juices set up in there. We're gonna let it about maybe 15 minutes or so. Then we'll cut it up and enjoy. I'll see you here in a minute. Alrighty, last side. I'm gonna go ahead and roll her over. But that flame kicked up a little too high on that one. So I'm gonna go ahead and shut the sear up. Hold it down for 2 minutes, and then I'm gonna go ahead and get her cooking. Alright guys, for my drip pan, I'm gonna put a stick of butter in here. I'm gonna give me some olive oil. Put her in there. Get some fresh rosemary. Throw in there. Now I've got some thyme. And if you saw this before, I've done this when I was cooking the tomahawk steak. And it turned out very, very good, which made me think it's going to be really good on here. I'm going to go ahead and crush up about 2 things of garlic. Stick it in there. Got my garlic. I'm going to just throw in there, and then on top of that, I'm going to pour in a little bit of red cooking wine. What we're going to do is we're going to put that tenderloin up on an elevated rack. We're going to put this underneath it to catch any kind of drippings. And every couple minutes or so, I'm just going to go ahead and baste with this. So the butter should melt real quick, so it should be good to go. So let's go ahead and get this out here. All right, got my elevated rack up here. I've got my drip pan underneath. I cranked the temperature down to 300. And what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and lay this guy right on top. Right. Now I've got my probe. We're going to stick it right square in the middle, and we're going to cook this thing until it gets to 125 degrees. Then we're going to pull it out and let it rest. So go ahead and give it just a quick. You can already see everything's mixing in pretty good. Butter's melting. All those flavors are combining. We're just going to brush it right on top. We're going to shut the lid and just let it there and let her cook. We ain't going to touch it again other than basting it till it gets to 125. Alright guys, we're at 124 degrees. Getting right there at the point. I'm going to go ahead and give it one last baste. And I wish you could be right here beside me and smell this, because it is absolutely amazing, guys. Next time we're here, we can be pulling this thing out. Alright guys, we're at temperature. We're at 125, well 126 now. So we're going to go ahead and pull this guy off. So let's let it in here, let's let it rest for about 10-15 minutes. We'll cut it up, check it out, try it out. Alright guys, it's been about 10 minutes and I can't wait to dig into this. So let's go ahead and cut just a small little strip. Oh boy, that's tender. Look at that. Look at that. That right there. A perfect 125. We pulled it at 125 and it's cooked in here, and that right there is about a perfect medium rare for me right there. That's about how I love it. You can see how well that cooked through. My gosh. Man. So Moment of truth. Let's try it out. Oh my gosh. That is just as tender, just as good as a fillet I've ever had in my life. I love it. I believe this would be the only way I'm going to start buying my fillets now. I want to just go ahead and buy the Tenderloin. I can taste everything on that thing. All that marinade, it did its job. It worked its way through there. It tasted so good, and that basting on top, I think that made a difference. I'm getting a little bit of a garlic, a little bit, but what I'm really getting is this sucklebusters. I mean, it tastes just like it smells. I wish you could smell that. And this right here is the perfect combination for this. But one more thing I did do is I'm going to try it right here. We got a little bit of this. Some on top of that. Look how pretty that is. Look at that color. That right there is so nice. We gotta try it. All right, here we go. Golly, that is so tender, guys. And that right there, it's right. This actually elevates the taste of that. It is true. So this right here, I highly recommend making. It's a simple recipe, guys. So easy to do, and I can't recommend it enough. So hey, thank you very much for watching. If you liked what you saw, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to me if you haven't already. Still trying to grow my channel. Share it with your friends. And I thank you very much, and y'all have a great day. And guys, as always, go to my description and click on the link to Greenback Designs Facebook page. Man, they do excellent work on all their products, and everything they do is handcrafted, and you can really tell by the quality of their products that they really care about everything they ship to their customers. So not only do they do just cutting boards, they make candles, serving trays, signs, and much more. So please visit their page, show them some love, and be sure to tell them the Tennessee Grilling and Smoking sent you.